Hey, what it do, people? It's your boy E2 Blue coming back at you again. And guess what? We got a bit of good news, just a little bit. Zack Martin's injury is not as severe as we think it is. He actually hyperextended his knee, which is kind of what I thought last night, but I was just hoping and praying that that's all it was. So it's a possibility that he can start the season off. Now, if he doesn't play in the first game of the season against Carolina, they'll either put Joe Looney in that spot or Cam Fleming or somebody else, because I know those are our two reserve guys right now. But I think he should be good to go for the start of the season. There shouldn't be any letbacks. There's no ligament damage. There's no tears. There's nothing like that. It's just a hyperextension of the knee. They're probably just going to go ahead and probably sit him out for the rest of training camp. Have him with the strength and conditioning coaches and just keep him on the sideline and just let the other guys, play their roles and get in there and try to see who we can get as backups. Speaking of backups, that is what we need right now. If you guys seen the game last night, you know that when the backups came in, they didn't play all great. There were some good things that happened in the game, but as the game progressed, you can tell these bubble guys have not been really stepping up in the game like we wanted them to do. But the good thing about this time of year is that when teams do cut down to 53, there are going to be good players that are going to get cut from certain teams. So it is a chance that, Cowboys can get some decent players out there. We definitely need to bolster up that safety position because we're a little thin at that spot right now. I don't know if they're going to go out and get another cornerback. We seem like we're decent, but we just got to get more out of Jordan Lewis and Anthony Brown. Anthony Brown was doing good in training camp practices, but then when it came to the game, he wasn't playing as good. We have to watch these penalties. We got to watch these PIs. We got to get a little bit more discipline here on this back end of this defense, because I'm looking at what we have right now with our defensive line right now. We got a good rotation of guys, no matter who they pick right now, because I'm telling you, a lot of the guys that have been jockeying for position right now, they have been pulling their weight. It's a couple of guys that are on the bubble that we know that, when it comes to cut downs, they're not going to be here anymore, so they're not really a factor. But I'm just looking at some of these positions, and I'm as the days go by, like in my head, I'm sitting here thinking like, okay, this spot is solidified. This spot is a maybe. Just trying to put in perspective where we could plug these guys in as far as depth purposes, because that's the most important thing. You look at how the Eagles won the Super Bowl. They won the Super Bowl because everybody played their part. Everybody that entered that game did what they were supposed to do. Now, that was one thing that we had with the Cowboys that we were lacking before, is depth. We got to get depth in here. We got to get these guys, not saying that your backups have to be as good as your starters, but they have to be able to do their job. Next man up mentality. Do your job. You do your job correctly, you don't miss your assignments, 9 times out of 10, you're going to beat the guy across from you. So that's pretty much with that. Now, we're going to look at some more of these injuries with these other players right now, but most importantly, Zack Martin only hyperextended his knee, thank God. It's not nothing more serious, because we couldn't afford to not have him because we just paid him. So we couldn't afford to not have him out for a significant amount of time. So thank God for that. What else we got here? So let me know what you guys think about. I'm still trying to get things together with John for our live stream that we're going to do together. We're going to do a special one. And basically, we're going to talk about what we think individually, how this roster is going to shape up, what we expect from this year as far as the season as a whole. And we might do some game predictions. So, I'm going to bring out a little treat for you guys so you guys can just engage with us and just, go ahead and see what we got going on our list. So as far as for future references, we got 2 more preseason games left. So those 2 games are mostly, we're going to evaluate the guys that are on the bubble. So as we get nearer to the 53-man roster cut down date, things are starting to come into the fold more. But again, like I said, there are certain positions that need to be addressed. We definitely need to figure out what we're going to do at safety. And even tight end, I don't know which one of these guys makes the team. The only one I know for sure right now is Jeff Swain, because he's the more complete out of all the guys that's there right now. Offensive line, even with Zack Martin coming back from that hyperextension, we're good on the starters. But the only thing that I know is a lock. I know Joe Looney and Cam Fleming have backup spots. Kadeem Edwards, if he plays real good in these next 2 games, he might end up taking that last spot. Or they might just scrap all of them and bring another veteran in from another team that got cut. Like I said, this is that time of the season where this is the time of the off season and training camp where these players are going to be on the street. There's going to be a lot of players that's going to be on the street. You're going to look at, you're going to look up and be like, Dad, they cut him. You're going to see some household names get cut. And some guys are probably cut because they're older, things of that nature. But I think that as far as a backup, if we can get like a veteran that, give him a 1 or 2 year contract, something like that, just somebody that's a veteran, that's been in this league, that's been, in these trenches and know what it's like to compete. You know what I mean? Because you don't need a guy long term. You just need a bridge guy, as I like to call him. Just a bridge guy, just somebody to get you over that season hump. Like I said, you could just give him a 1 year contract. It really doesn't matter. But again, Zack Martin's good to go. Like I said, he's probably going to be on the sideline working with the strength and conditioning coaches, just, getting back up to speed again. Because again, when you have injuries like that, you don't want to mess with it. And you look at Travis Frederick and you hear him dealing with his stingers and stuff like that. These are our starting all-pro, Pro Bowl offensive linemen. You don't want to play with that. So let them sit. They don't need to play no more. They good. They good. We seen what they can do. We already know what they can do. And if that's the case, if you're not going to have them in there, you don't want Dak getting hurt either. Take Dak's butt out of there. Get Cooper Rush in there, get Mike White in there, let those guys step up, let those guys actually show what they can do. Now, I'm not down on Mike White. Mike White, again, young guy, he still has to learn the playbook. He has to learn to be comfortable. You can tell he's not comfortable yet, which is okay. I mean, for you to be a quarterback, people don't understand how hard it is, because it's one of those positions where you're leading the team. You're touching the ball every play. So you got to know all the plays. So, for these young guys coming in, you guys don't realize how hard it is to make that transition. So I have a little bit more patience with some of these guys, because again, I can understand how hard it is to come from a collegiate level to the pros, because it's not the same. Especially each team is different too, because you have coaches that have different disciplines and want you to be a certain way. So a lot of that, all that plays a factor in the situation. But I think that once Mike White gets comfortable, and once he gets comfortable with these receivers and he knows where to throw the ball to them, because like I said, you can tell he's a little timid out there. But that's why I think that if for whatever reason we go heavy at other positions and they only have Dak and Cooper Rush on the active roster, is cool. Because if you got Mike White on scout team and on the practice squad, that gives him some time to get with the scout team and work with these other wide receivers and gain more of a camaraderie with these guys, so that he could get more comfortable with being there. I always say when rookies come in the league as quarterbacks, that's, I will say, the hardest position to transition to, because of the simple fact that you're leading the team, you're leading the offense, you touch the ball every play. It's all on you to perform, and you want to make sure that you're making the right decisions. And again, it's different than where they came from. So especially if you didn't come from a school like Ohio State or Alabama, one of those schools that like are well renowned and everybody knows the program and they're pro ready and things of that nature. You know what I mean? So all that plays a factor, y'all. So I just want to say, just have some patience, and I'll keep you in tune on what I think about stuff as well when it comes to that. Forgive me last night on my video. I was a little tired last night. I probably shouldn't have did it, but I wanted to throw it in there because because if I don't, I tend to forget things, because like I said, I got a lot going on in my personal life too. So, trying to get things in order. But I'm just if I was blabbing or talking outside of my neck, forgive me for that. But if you need me to clarify anything, I don't have no problem with it. Just ask me. But like, share, comment. Thanks again to all my subscribers. I appreciate all your support and your help. It really helps me to become a better YouTuber, and that's what it's all about. So it's your boy E2 Blue, always keeping it real. Talk to y'all soon. Have a great day.